What was it that John Stewart said about the 7th grade diplomacy? What was the phrase?
He said that operating on the basis of credibility is 7th grade diplomacy.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the level I'm on. I
had heard 9th grade for you.
No. You actually don't even have to get to 7th grade because that is basically international relations and politics in the Middle East. I do know exactly what Assad is thinking, and I can explain it to you right here. Because it's a mistake. It's a mistake that educated people make. They think it's more difficult than it is. It is not that hard. Well, the hard thing is figuring out what's actually going on the ground, who's doing what to whom, and so on. Once you know that, it's very simple because they want to win, right? They want to win. They want their friends to win, they want to win, and they want us to lose. And it's as simple as that. It's not hard. And they want to, the tools that they have at their disposal to win, they're thugs, right? So to use another popular cultural reference, all you have to do is watch The Sopranos, and then you understand how they're thinking. Why did they use chemical weapons at Ghouta? For two reasons. Number one, they suck. That's a military term, right? You look, they cannot, their regular military cannot take and hold territory. It can't. It's shocking the extent to which they suck as a military. So for a year, they have been trying to take this place, and they can't. The YouTube videos are beautiful, by the way, of showing Syrian tanks being blown up in this particular neighborhood by the FSA, because it's got big boulevards with high-rise buildings around it, and the tanks are just sitting ducks. They tried and tried and tried. They can't do it. It's incredibly strategic territory because it's the gateway into Damascus on the one hand, and it's very close to the airfield where the Iranian support comes in. So if they hold on to it, they're threatening this is the battle for Damascus, is what this is. And they have failed, the Syrians have failed in conventional terms, and so they went to unconventional to just clear. When our military talks about clearing in Afghanistan and Iraq and so forth, we mean clearing a population center of fighters, protecting the population, and so on. When Assad says clear, he means clear. Just clear the whole population out. It's as simple as that. Why did he do it while the UN inspectors were there? And this is the key to understanding what's going to happen the next day. He did it while the UN inspectors were there because he's a thug. He's sending a very clear message to all the Syrians who might think of one day taking up arms against him. You do that, I'll wipe you out, I'll wipe your family out, and don't you for a second think that the United States, the international community, the UN, or anybody else is going to help you. I'm going to show you how tough I am. Even while these UN inspectors are here, I'm going to gas you. And that was the message. So what he'll do to send that same message after we attack, if it's a one-off attack, is he'll go slam the population. He will brutalize his own population as he has been doing. They might do some other things externally and so on, like they have done terror attacks in Turkey to deter the Turks. They were probably responsible in some way or another for those rockets that went into Israel and so on. That's to make us fear that there may be some wider World War III or whatever. But basically, the message is going to be domestically. And just one last thing. The Iranians are the same thing. The Iranians, they created Hezbollah. They're backing Assad. They want Assad to win. They don't want to be too supportive of a guy who's using chemical weapons because there's all this Sunni hatred out there. So publicly they play it this way and that way. On the ground, they're supporting. And there's one conversation that never takes place, and I think we should all think about it. The Ayatollah Khamenei sits down with Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Quds Force, the head of the IRGC, and Qasem Soleimani says, "Oh, Ayatollah, we can't solve Syria. Look at us. We're a second, third-rate power. The United States is a superpower. It can't solve Syria. We can't do it. The use of force, it's counterproductive. If we use force in Syria, it's just going to make it all worse, so I think we should just forget about it." That never happens. That conversation never happens. They sit down and they say, how do we strengthen our boy? How do we strengthen our boy against them? How do we cause maximum pain to the Americans? And that's the way they do it. And that's the way we have to do business as well. We don't have to solve Syria. We don't have to. Our interests are protect our friends, build up our friends, punish our enemies, create a framework that allows other people to get on the ground to do stuff so that we don't have to do it. That's international politics. We don't have to solve it. We just have to make our side stronger and cause them pain.
Who is our side?
Our side is the Saudis, the Turks. Our side, oh, that's a great question. The way you figure out who your side is who do you want to have the most pain? And that's Iran. We want to make Iran suffer, and we want to make Assad suffer. And then we go down the line and we say, who can we line up to do that isn't going to cause us pain? And by the time when we get down to some of the al-Qaeda elements, and not all of them, by the way, then we say, you're on the other side. But there's a lot of people out there we can work with.